Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where my mom's at podcast with Christina P. Thank you for downloading this episode of Where My Mom's At. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Some business before we get started with the fun today. I have LeeAnn Kreischer and I'm so excited. But let's get into it. I have some live dates coming up. I will be at Burbank at Flappers in the Yoo-Hoo room September 26th, just working out new stuff. It's an intimate room. Just come hang out, very loosey-goosey. And then October 3rd through 5th, Nashville at Zany's. And then October 10th, I'm back at the Yoo-Hoo room, Flappers in Burbank. And then I do Irvine October 17th, and then Pasadena at the Ice House, October 25th. That's on there twice. November 22nd, Seattle at the Neptune, and then November 23rd, Portland at the Aladdin Theater. Tickets at Christina P online. I am also on the gram at the Christina P. I highly recommend you follow me there. I curate TikToks. I post various mom-related things, and yeah, that's it. And Twitter, whatever, Christina P. Now with me is my absolute favorite, LeeAnn Kreischer. She hosts a podcast called Wife of the Party. If you have not checked it out yet, you should definitely get on it. You're on YouTube as well with that, yeah?
Yes, I am.
I know a lot of women like to watch
the
podcast. So
they do. I think they put it on in the background while they're doing laundry or dishes or whatever. Yeah, it is interesting that women tend to watch.
Yeah, they like to see what we're doing. And, so what have you been talking about on your show? I've been sick, so I haven't been.
Last episode was about differentiated parenting.
What's that?
That is where you have one kid that needs a lot more obviously than the other. And how do you make sure, fair is not equal, but how do you make it fair,
Interesting.
So I think that was last week's. I've been hooking up with a psychologist and an author. We've done several podcasts with them, Kristen and Jocelyn, about parenting. Coincidentally, I've been talking about parenting a lot lately.
Yeah, well, you're an expert. You're a varsity mom. That's why you're here.
Varsity, whatever.
You're varsity. I'm JV. You're varsity. I'm a cool mom. You're a varsity mom.
I'm totally varsity.
But you're cool, too. I'd say you're a cool mom, too.
I'm definitely a cool mom.
But yeah, so thank you, Nada.
Not like a regular mom.
Cool
I'm a
mom
cool
stuff.
mom.
Oh, thank you.
But so Wife of the Party, check that out. And then so last week on the show, I dropped a beautiful photograph of my father and I. It was used as our Christmas card, believe it or not.
That was your Christmas card? I love this picture.
What?
I think it's awesome. Now, I didn't know it was a Christmas card. Now, when you tell me that, then I may be like, maybe a shirt would be a good idea.
See?
But I didn't know it was your Christmas card. I thought it was just a picture.
No, that's why it gets weirder, is because he took this.
Is he grabbing your boob?
Well, that's the other. So someone else pointed that out on Instagram. They go, well, why is his hand covering your boob now? But this is pre-boob time. But I remember at the time thinking, like, I have like breast buds.
Yeah.
Like, maybe be cognizant of that. Like, he just wasn't aware.
Yeah.
He's oblivious. But yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
Very handsome.
Yeah, right?
Very charismatic. My dad's very funny. Life of the Party.
Is that a portrait of you over the fireplace?
Yeah, a lot of questions on that. That was commissioned by one of his hoes. My dad had a stable of bitches. And one of his girlfriends felt that was a good thing to do. It doesn't look a thing like me. I don't know if you can see the eyes. They're very almond shaped.
I was a little confused.
Yeah.
I was confused. It wasn't clear.
Yeah. They look like crescent moons. And then it's like, it's not accurate. But anyway. So you're pro shirtless photo is what I'm hearing you say. Yeah.
Because I'm married to a shirtless man who is shirtless all the time. He's usually pantless also. So, yeah.
What? But he doesn't wear, I thought he doesn't wear underwear. He's told me that he doesn't wear underwear with his jeans.
That's correct.
So he's nude all the time?
A lot of the time. Or he'll just put on a Speedo just to hang out. So I think he really has sensory processing disorder. I really do. Because he doesn't like to have anything on his body.
Yeah.
Except hair. So.
and he's naked, and he does this in front of your two girls. Their whole lives. No.
He'll come out of our bedroom and go, "I'm naked, everybody," and then they have to proceed at their own risk.
Okay.
So,
but they've seen his peener, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about recently. I think he's real good about announcing it.
Yeah,
So
that's
that he
good.
can give them the option of not being involved in that.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw my dad's peener growing up a lot.
You did?
I did. Both my parents, I don't know if it's a European thing or just an obliviousness thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about our moms and like
Yeah.
their douchebags. And,
Yeah, yeah.
and my mother was like way too into showing me her vag stuff.
Oh, my mother on Saturdays
Yeah.
would clean the house completely naked.
Oh, God. Why?
Vacuum naked.
Why?
Queen blaring on the music in the background, just naked as a
Why?
jaybird.
But why?
Because she said she was hot, so she didn't want to be hot.
Yeah, but she must have had a banging body because.
She looked like Cher from the neck down. It was ridiculous.
But could you imagine? Like, I would be so. I don't want my. I'm flabby. I jiggle.
Oh, I'd cause more cleanup because my kids would vomit if they saw me cleaning naked. So yeah, no, I would never do that. I never saw my dad's penis though ever.
So I saw my dad's peener a lot because he would party like he would have so many girls around, like different girlfriends every weekend, and then
Yeah.
they would be naked, sunbathing, naked swimming. He's just out of the shower, naked, naked. And at one point I told my mom, and she told him, like, hey, dum your little girl is like 10 years old. I think it's time to cover up your dong.
Right.
Because my friends would come over.
Right.
And I'd be like, Dad, my friends are coming over. Can you put on a bathing suit? And he's like, just tell me when they're here. I'll put it on when they show up. So then it became my responsibility to
Right.
be like, Dad, cover your dick. My friends are here, which is not. It's not
Sounds
my
healthy.
Yeah,
Super healthy. Really healthy, positive parenting. Maybe not. Slightly off.
Slightly off. But so I've been getting a lot of emails. So last week we discussed, someone asked me what they should tell their children to call their genitals. And instinctively I was like, penis, vagina. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty good to me. And then I got on like a jokey tear of like, actually, let's call it dong, dankle, wang, schlong,
Vajay.
But I kind of feel like in general, I'm not sure some people are hung up, obviously. I don't have a hang up on
No.
calling it penis, vagina.
No, I
What's
don't
your-
either.
Yeah.
No, we called it vajayjay.
Which is close enough.
Which is pretty close. And we say vagina, and boobs or breasts. But I did a podcast, one of my earlier podcasts, where I was talking to someone, and I can't even remember who the guest was, but she was telling me how if you use the actual term like penis and vagina, then those body parts are normalized from a very early age. So then there's no like transitioning into any kind of normalization. That's just, it's just part of your body. It's like saying elbow.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the same thing.
I agree, especially once you make people.
Yeah.
Once you're a mom, you kind of see how arbitrary sex organs. It's no different than creating an eyeball or a penis or
Yeah.
just
Earwax. Same.
yeah, it's all flaps and folds of skin.
Totally.
I'm not sure why we can't just name the thing.
I don't know either, because it literally
Yeah.
is just anatomy.
But it is kind of it is very clinical, I guess, on it's a hidden part of your body.
Well, I think for how many generations?
Well, not in our house, so not in your house.
No, not in my house either. For generations, we were told to, hide that or protect it or cover it up.
Right.
I remember my grandmother, when I was really small, helping me put underwear on, going, shoo, don't touch that. Shoo, shoo. Like it was like toxic.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I'm
said-
sure for years in the back of my brain, I was like, shoo, don't touch
Yeah.
that. Shoo, shoo. That's nasty.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
so she's putting her shame onto you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. Was
crazy.
she very religious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still sings in church today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, really religious. Goes every time
boy.
doors open.
Isn't that nutty?
It is because, she was Southern Baptist, and my understanding of that religion is, sex is only for procreation, pretty much.
Yeah.
So for you to embrace your vagina would be probably not very biblical.
Right. No, of course not. Yes, I'm trying to think of what my mom, because I think my mom, the one thing she did do well, I would say, is to be very straightforward. Like, it was a little too forward. Like, she would show me her oral sex creams by her bed.
Oh Lord, that's TMI.
I know, and her edible panties that she would have with her partners. This is a pina colada flavored panties. Try it. And I remember being, I didn't even know what a pina colada was. I had to ask her, like, what's that flavor? It's alcohol drink, and like, So it was a little too much.
Yeah.
However, by the time I became sexually active, I did not have hang-ups about my body and other, like it was actually kind of good in a way.
Yeah, I had the same experience. My mom was very, very open about her sex life and her sexuality.
Too much.
It was too much. It
Yeah.
was, some might say it was like somebody told me once that it was like actually like child abuse when you're that open about it.
It's called covert incest.
That's right. That's right. That's what someone told me. And I was like, I was not incested. You're crazy. I was not molested or incested, but it was just creepy.
Yes.
But I do know at a certain point in my adult life, I felt that being sexy was being like my mom.
Me too.
So I wouldn't do that, right?
Me too.
I could be funny, goofy, cute girl,
100%.
goofball, hang with the boys, but I'm not a
100%.
sex pot. Nope.
100%.
Yep.
And my sexuality got so warped because of my mother's over sexuality.
Yeah.
Look at me today. I'm like, I gotta wear my hoodie. I'm on camera. I gotta wear my, like, I'm not comfortable being, I don't own high heels. I have one nice pair that I wear once every 3 years for my husband, and it hurts, and I fucking hate wearing. Like, I can't walk on them. It hurts.
Yeah.
And it is because my mother was so
overt.
sexual. Yeah, and I didn't want to identify it. How sad. And
It is sad.
it sucks. Yeah.
It does suck because then you don't get to make a choice about it.
Like who am I? What would my sexuality and how I express it have been had it not been warped in a way by both my parents. My dad was overly sexual too.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
You know, he had porno magazines lying about that he didn't conceal. Like, you have a fucking mommy daddy drawer, dude. Like, lock up your drugs, your guns, your porn.
Yeah.
And he didn't conceal any of it. So I was consuming that early too.
Right. I was consuming that early as well. My dad had Playboys around that were just out, like on the coffee table. You know?
What? I mean, little girl now.
I mean, he's single dad, but he had two roommates, right? And one of the other roommates had a child my age. So every other weekend they made sure they coordinated custody. So there was like one weekend with kids and one weekend that was just party. And then so they would alternate,
priorities.
Right?
Well, you gotta have your priorities.
Exactly. They're not dumb.
You gotta party. I mean, how are you gonna have kids and not get ripped and party?
You can't. I mean, they're single men. They gotta bang some bitches on every other.
Don't you love how single dads have that priority? My dad had the exact priority.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm gonna see you this weekend unless I'm gonna go partying.
No, my dad didn't do that.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he had the teammate, the other dad. So the two dads had the two kids.
Yeah.
And every other weekend was like there was no like you have Leanne this weekend, you have Brandon next weekend. None of that was going on. We were the same weekend, always coordinated. So they had the other weekend to party.
Got you. And so what happened on party weekend? Is that when you saw pornography and?
Well, they'd just forget to clean it up, right? By the time I got there, it'd still be out. So I think that was the standard issue. And then sweep it under the rug, put it in the cabinet. And then sometimes, they're dudes, they'd forget.
Yeah.
And then there'd be Playboys on. And they had this one photo album. My dad went to Mardi Gras every year, and he just took pictures of boobs.
Oh, boy.
Like boobs and boobs and boobs. And he had an entire photo album of boobs from Mardi Gras.
Sure.
So I was told I could never look through this photo album.
Oh, at least he had the wherewithal to say, don't look. But telling a kid don't do that is tantamount to just do it. It's fun. Yeah, I know.
So, of course, Brandon and I would sneak in and go, we got to go look at the boob photo album. Look at the boobs. For a long time, I was like, women are so beautiful.
Of course.
I'm attracted to men, but I grew up looking at beautiful women because I was partly and mostly raised by my dad.
Yeah.
So I was exposed to sexuality in looking at beautiful women.
Yes, me too.
But I've never been attracted to women, but I just think they're really beautiful,
Yeah, I think I talked to my shrink about this. So what happens when you find pornography at a young age is that it's overstimulating to a child's body and system, and you don't know what to do with that stimulation.
Right.
Because it is exciting on the one hand, like you see naked photos or sex and you're like, this is exciting, but it's too much for you.
Right.
So it does create a kind of trauma, like kind of a warping.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just overstimulation.
That's probably why my mom thought I was gay. You know, she asked me if I was gay. I wasn't looking at any kind of porn or anything, but she was like,
why would she assume you were
she's
gay?
psychic. Duh. She was getting my psychic vibes. Have you looked at Playboy? You're probably gay.
Oh, God. Well, I remember loving those women, too, in Playboy. And
They were beautiful.
perfect
Yeah.
specimens.
And in the 70s, they were like real.
yeah.
Very real. I mean, not that they're not real now,
Yeah.
but they looked different
not real
in the
now.
70s. Well, they're totally different. It's a totally
Yeah.
different. Like those women, that was what my mom looked like because I'd seen her naked.
Yeah.
what
God
she
knows
looked
we
like.
both did, yeah.
With a vacuum.
Yeah.
Super
Did she have big tits like mine?
Yeah.
And they would swing. Because
Yeah.
that's what mom tits, they swing
Yeah.
every moment. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember loving them, and I loved the cartoons of Playboy. I
Me
remember,
too.
because that's that's the appeal. You're like, oh, and like finding the bunny was so fun for me. Like
Yeah,
after you
I did the
figured out
same
that
thing,
neat
yeah.
trick, you're like, ooh, where's the bunny on the cover where the slut is? Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of neat. And then once I could read, figuring out what the centerfold was kind of bizarre. And now looking back, you're like, those girls were like 19.
Yeah.
Which is like you're a teenager. You're just a baby.
It's almost my daughter.
Yeah.
She's 15. That's
But
pretty close.
man, I can't even believe they're that old.
I can't believe they're that old either. I really can't. I can't believe Georgia will be driving next summer.
No,
Yeah. It's insane.
I hate it. So I love this that you're a varsity mom, and you've also got two girls. I have two small boys, 3 and 1, and you've got teenage girls that
Yeah.
are 15 and
13. I'm in the thick of it.
You're in
man.
the second dark forest.
I am in the second fucking dark forest. So yeah, what happens?
Let's talk about it.
At this time. Okay, so I read this great book called Untangled. I can't remember the author's name, but it's Untangled, and she was a psychologist, or still probably is, at an all-girls school. And she did a deep dive on what's going on in their brain in the teenage years. It's the same as the toddler years. So whatever happened for your kid as a toddler behaviorally is probably going to repeat as a teenager. So like Isla hit everybody and everything and was very volatile. And so we're getting into this, if something doesn't go her way, rah! And I'm like, yep, I recognize this kid. I had you as a toddler. But I didn't really know that. So reading the book kind of helped me kind of like troubleshoot ahead.
So this book is called Untangled, but it's
Yeah.
about raising teenage girls specifically.
Yeah,
So
sorry,
those of us,
boys.
Well, I'm sure I'll read something down the line. So this is for you guys listening that have teenage girls.
Yeah.
And what about the influence of social media? Because I feel like that's got to be such the thing that's warping little girl. I mean, you and I grew up in an era, thankfully, of anonymity where you can
Right.
make mistakes
Yeah.
and nobody really knew. And
Right.
you didn't know what other kids were doing on the weekend. You
No.
didn't know the stuff you weren't being invited to. And now you know who's having more fun than you
Yeah.
and who's cuter than you and who's got perfect skin. So what's that all about?
Well, I have a couple things to say about that. One is we've talked to the girls about social media and about how what people present isn't necessarily real or
not at
isn't
all.
how they really feel. So you kind of have to take it as entertainment as opposed to like fact. Now, the being left out of a party and stuff like that doesn't seem to bother my kids.
Oh, that's cool.
So we got to pass on that one a little bit. We talked about it briefly, but they're like, I don't really give a shit. I'd rather stay home with my dog. So they're just
Great.
not there yet.
How do I raise kids like that?
I don't know.
What did you do?
I have a lot of animals. Maybe that helps.
That's the key.
Maybe. But I also said to them, I guess it was a girl in the community that we live in that sent naked pictures of herself to a boy who then shared it to 18 other boys.
No.
And she was only 12.
Oh, no.
And you just breaks my heart that this little girl doesn't feel like she has any power more than that, you know? But it was a great teaching moment for us to go, this happened with this young lady. When we were young, if I wanted to give Dad a naked picture, I had to find a camera, make sure it had film, take the picture.
Or a Polaroid, which was very expensive back in the day.
Well, that doesn't go for my point.
Sorry.
Like, find the camera.
Sorry, find the camera. Yes,
make sure it has film. Take the picture. Take the film to the photo mat. Wait a week. Get the pictures. Put it in an envelope and hand deliver it. I mean, you had so much time to go, maybe that's not a great idea.
That's a really good point.
And they don't have that time. It's so click, send, over. And then you can't take it back. I mean, even if you take it back, you can't really take it back. It's out there. It's in the internet. It can be found. So we explained that to them. We were like, you need anything you post. If you think it's a joke, if you think it's risky, just give yourself like 15 minutes. Go to the bathroom, take a dump, and then come back and go, is this a good idea? Because if you send it, you don't have enough time to say, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
You know what there should be, and someone should do this, is an app for teenagers or something you can put on the phone that it's a delay of at least a minute. Like you hit send on a text. And
I'd say an hour.
An hour, yeah, and you get an hour
delay.
to resend it, so it doesn't actually send it
That's
for like
brilliant.
an hour. Hello, $1 million
brilliant.
freaking idea. You're welcome.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they understand consequence.
No.
The way
the teenagers.
that.
No,
Yeah,
come on.
well, I didn't understand consequence, but I know I
40.
wouldn't have fucking spent 40 hours getting one picture developed for my boobs. You know, would never have done that. It was too much time.
And the humiliation of getting the photo from the Photoshop, where you know the whole
Right?
staff saw you and
Right.
your boyfriend naked or whatever the nasty shit you. Oh
yeah,
my God.
would be terrible. So
And the negatives. You used to have the negatives. Remember?
Yeah, you
give me
keep
the
the
negatives.
negatives, yep.
Like anyone's gonna do anything.
burn them, dip them in acid, anything. Get rid of the negative.
The negatives.
But yeah, social media, the hardest thing for me with them is that I feel like too much of it diminishes other parts of their life. Like their
Yes.
focus, their want to hang out with other people or to connect with people. You know, we used to play board games all the time, and now I have to drag them off their device to get them to play something they actually enjoy. Like we'll be 5 minutes into it and they're having a blast. It's almost like a drug.
It is a drug.
And
yeah.
so we have this thing called Cyber Free Sunday.
I
Where
want
Sunday, you cannot have a device. The only reason you can have it is if you have homework, because George's entire curriculum is on her computer. So she can use her school issued computer, which is monitored by the school. So if she's doing anything like TikTok-y, they know, and she's not supposed to do that on that device. But no Cyber Free Sunday. There's no device used. For me too. I'm off of it too.
Fantastic.
So unless there's some emergency, you know, like if dad is in Pittsburgh and has something urgent he's texting me about, that's different. But
yeah.
But that's one, it's amazing by about noon on Sunday how different they feel. Like their
course.
energy is totally different. It's not frenetic. It's really grounded. And I think it just lets their brain rest.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, because it does speed up how you do things.
It does.
What was it? Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said that we are cyborgs already because what is this? It's a miniature, it's a tiny computer,
brain.
and we're cyborgs already. And I thought, gosh, that's so, you see people crossing the street and they're doing this, crossing the
Totally.
street, instead of looking at, I don't know, cars that can kill them.
Right?
Yeah, it's really scary.
It is crazy.
Yeah, and it works at a pace that your brain is not accustomed to moving.
I agree. I think it makes you think very fragmented.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
I've realized that I can't spell as well as I used to because I don't read as
don't have
much,
to.
and I don't have to. It autocorrects, or I can write PLS instead of please.
Right.
And I feel myself getting dumber, but that could just be because I have 2 small children.
It's too childish. Yeah, that's mostly it. It's mostly that. It's mama brain.
So let's talk about the next phase. Since you're varsity mom, you've got 2 teenage girls. What can my listeners look forward to in the teen years? What happens?
What can they look forward to?
Well, I mean, it's not all rotten. Here's the thing. I don't want people to think the show is like, meh, being a mom sucks. It doesn't all suck, obviously.
Okay, I have something good. I have some good.
Okay, go.
Okay. We traveled this summer. We went to Bali in Australia, and it was a completely different trip. Now, I know I have some friends whose teenagers don't want to spend time with their parents in any capacity. I don't have that. I don't know why, but I'm really lucky. And I kept saying to Bert, I am enjoying their company so much, and we can do stuff like we like the same stuff now, whereas before we'd go to a park and that's for my kids and I had fun, but it's different when we can all have a shared experience on like a more adult level, where we can all parasail or we can all jump off a rock into the ocean because we're all old enough. That's been really cool. And it's been really cool too to give them independence. You know, teenagers have this struggle going on where they really want to be autonomous and they know that they can't. They can't drive. So if they want to go to the mall, they have to ask me to go, but they don't want to ask me. They just want to go. So that's the way it's
a toddler.
brain
The toddler
is exactly the same.
I want to do what I want to do. Why can't I have a cookie at 9 a.m.?
Right.
Give me the fucking cookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can't actually put my pants on without you.
Right.
It's the same thing as a teenager. So there's this great book called I Hate You, I Hate You. Now will you take me and Cheryl to the mall? And I'm like, that's exactly what it's like. I hate you. Now will you take me to the mall because I can't get there without you.
Sure.
So to kind of see where they can take over parts of their lives and succeed has been really rewarding. To go, Georgia started making her lunch, which sounds like she's pretty old to start making her lunch, but she gets up so early to catch the bus that I've been doing it so that she could sleep more. But she decided this year, nope, I want to make my own lunch, and she's made it every day, and it's given her so much confidence. I've also done this thing where they are in charge of one dinner a week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So they cook the dinner, and I'll teach them because they need to learn how to cook. My theory is once they get to teenagers, is your job as a parent is no longer as much to help them regulate their emotions. They need to figure that out on their own with backup from you. But you've given them all the tools by this point that they should just maybe need a little backup from you, not parenting and that kind of stuff. And they're already doing homework by themselves and they're already doing that kind of stuff. So I was like, we need to start talking about money and we need to start talking about adult responsibilities that I won't be helping you with in college. You'll be doing your own laundry. You'll be making your own meals. How do we figure out how to cook an actual meal and not a microwave pizza?
I love this.
You know, so that's been my focus.
Well, and especially because there's so many men that I dated when they were in their 20s who'd never done laundry before, who could not cook a meal, and it's because they're
Kreischer.
right. Tom's a girl. And I was like, well, why didn't your mommy teach you?
Yeah.
I taught my 3-year-old. They both my 1-year-old's now learning which buttons to push to start the damn laundry machine and the dishwasher. Have your boys, have your girls help you from 1.
Yeah.
Ellis has been cooking with me since he was 1. Same with Julian. Like, teach them the skills, and then when they're teenagers, they won't be completely, lost on their own.
Yeah.
And money is a big discussion too. I feel like one thing I've noticed that in rich people's lives, they talk to their children about money and educate them.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, and you and I had to learn the hard way.
Hard way.
How to do.
Hard way.
Yes, that rich people, that's how they pass on the tools to make money.
Right.
They teach their sons, their daughters about it
They do.
very early. Yeah.
I started doing this thing where I gave my kids allowance. They get $20 a week, and that $20 a week, I give them a 10, a 5, and 5 ones, which is a fucking pain in the ass to come up with 2 sets of that every goddamn week.
You're a super mom, dude.
But I said, when you get a paycheck, here's your $20 paycheck for being in our family. 10% of that goes to savings. 10% of that goes to charity. And the 80% of it, you do what you want with it. You can save it and buy a new jacket. You can take yourself to the movies with your friends. If we go to the movies as a family, the family pays for that. If you go to the movies with your friends, you pay for that.
The charity is also a tax write-off, which is a good trick that rich people do.
Right.
So that's why you teach them, right?
Well, well, you should tithe. I believe in tithing.
Screw the government.
I believe that energy begets more back to you. And I think that rich people believe that also. Is that you don't think so?
I think it's an excellent tax write-off, charity.
It is an excellent tax write-off.
That's what we do. I'm just kidding. No, you're right. No, because when you have so much, you should give back. It's like a normal, nice thing to do. So an allowance, that's a good thing. Let's talk about this. I got this great email from this dad, and I've been thinking about him so much. I got this email, and I was like, gosh. Anyway, I'm just happy he wrote in. Christine, I hope you can help me out with some major anxiety, he writes. I'm a single dad raising a beautiful daughter. She's 4 years old. It's that time. This little lady is doing a lot of things on her own. And I'm wondering how I should go about teaching her all the intricate details with female hygiene. I have been going about it in a very textbook way, very robotic, scientific words, vagina. I don't know why I started this. When she started trying to wipe after the bathroom, my nerves took over and I became this robot instructing this little girl. I'm a bit embarrassed that I'm nervous about this. Is this okay? Should I take a more nurturing approach? Juan, what do you think? You've got girls, Leanne.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
that
me
he's
too.
even that aware. I mean, seriously.
100%.
What a sweet
100%.
guy.
I don't think my dad had any.
Oh, are you kidding me? Talk about the my dad did. I don't even think my dad knows I have a vagina. He's completely oblivious to that.
I got my period at my dad's house.
Ooh.
And I was like, I didn't even say a word. I was like, I'm just going to go hide this. Like I hid it and I asked to go home to my mom. And then my mom was like, show me your period. I'm like, no.
Prove it. Prove
Yeah,
it.
fuck you. Look at your own period. I said, no, bitch. No. It was so nasty. I'm like,
You had to prove it.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I know. I was like, ugh.
How weird. Well, I know I have a dad in my house with 2 girls, right? Bert. Mm-hmm. Bert's always been really aware of the line as being a male raising 2 girls. You know, he used to get in the shower with them and bathe in a Speedo. So
Right.
he's like, I'm not going to get naked in the shower with my girl. That's just
Smart.
not okay. So he's been really good about stuff like that. Just being aware that, and I think this fella is very aware that he doesn't want the daughter to feel there's anything going on here except parenting, which is,
I see what you're saying. I didn't even pick up on that.
No, I didn't pick up on that from him, but I think guys are afraid.
Right.
That they feel like I'm being molesty.
Correct.
But that's, you know, you're her dad. So there's got to be some allowance for you to say things. And maybe scientific is a bit strong, maybe a little more nurturing, but to just be honest, really, about it. This is how a woman's body works. And I think maybe if he doesn't have a female in his life they could talk to, it might be good to find one.
Yeah.
You know, a lady at church, a social worker at school, or a teacher, or someone, a Girl Scout troop leader, or someone, because there may be a certain point where she's not comfortable talking to him about it. I know my kids at this point are not comfortable with dad even knowing they're on their period.
Of course.
But
Normal.
before, I was naked all day, every day, you know, vagina hanging out everywhere, and she was totally comfortable. So there's a certain point where I don't think there's anything wrong with a little girl feeling modest with her dad, you know, about stuff. But at 4,
you're not modest.
no, he sounds like he's doing a pretty good job.
I think he's doing a great job. And I also think just for any single dads or anybody listening that has a little girl, let's go through maybe some of the basics, right? Like
Yeah.
there's 3 holes down there, everybody.
Yeah,
Some
3.
people don't know. There's a urethra, that's where you pee out of. That's the vagina where the babies come out of and penises go into. And then there's the anus. Look at them laughing in the booth. Penises. And then the anus where poo-poo comes out.
Yes.
So rule number 1 of girl hygiene is you have to wipe front to back. Now, Leanne and I had cool moms that taught us the opposite.
I don't know if my mom taught me how to wipe at all. I think I just figured it out like a monkey.
You did?
I don't remember her teaching me that.
My mom taught me the incorrect way to wipe. She goes, you have to do it. You go like this, you put the paper there, and then you wipe up. And I wiped up until I was a teenager, and my friends were like, what are you doing? Like, I peed in front of my girlfriend. She's like,
Right.
that's not right, dude.
That's not how you
Because you're
do
going to
that,
get
yeah.
poo-poo in your
your-
vagine, and then you're going to get an infection.
Yeah, I had that happen to me.
Yeah.
That's how I figured it out, is that I was wiping back to front, and I got honeymooner's cystitis was the term
Yeah,
the doctor
UTI.
told me. It was a UTI, yeah. And it was because there's a lot of bacteria in your poop.
Yeah.
So if you're wiping it into an open orifice,
Yeah.
that's not good. You have to wipe it front to back.
Right. Better to get urine and whatever stuff is in your vagina on your beehole.
Yeah.
Because who cares
It's
if it's
full of
on your
bacteria
butthole.
anyway,
Yeah. That's so funny. The other day, Ellis goes, he was sitting down, he's eating, he's 3.5, and he goes, my butt hurts. My butt hurts. And I go, is it your butt cheek or your butthole? And he's like, my butt. And so I was like, let's take off your diaper.
Right.
Because he had like a real gnarly diarrhea. And I think it gave him ring sting.
Oh.
And I was like, no, buddy, it's your butthole, because it was really red. And I made sure to teach him. And I go, just say it. Go, my butthole hurts. So when Tom came home yesterday off the road, I'm like, Ellis, tell your dad what happened. He's like, my butthole hurt. And he's like, babe, you can't teach him that. I'm like, why not? That's what that is. I'd rather him learn the butthole's not dirty. No. It's anus, but he's not probably not know anus.
No.
But they should know the word. So anyway, so there's that. There's 3 holes, wipe front to back. At what age do you tell girls about period? I learned around 3rd grade, which I remember I got armpit hair, and I think it was around that time my mother started to tell me, like, okay, puberty starting. You're going to get hair on your vagina too.
Mm-hmm. Hair's a really good indicator that your hormones are changing. So if you see any hair anywhere, like in armpit or even around the vagina, then that's a sign you probably should have the talk pretty soon. Now, American Girl Doll has an amazing book called The Care and Keeping of You. This dad may want to invest in this book. She's a little young.
The Care and Keeping of You.
The Care and Keeping of You. There's 2 versions. There's a younger girl version for girls like age 9 to 11, and then there's an older girl version. And it really deals with everything from personal hygiene to menstruation to friend drama, which happens around this hormonal kick in time. But I read that book aloud to both of my girls because one of my girls was very modest and the other one was very like, what do you mean you stick a tampon in your vagina? What is that supposed to mean? And so she was the younger daughter, so she kind of asked questions the older daughter was feeling too uncomfortable to ask.
Gotcha.
So we made it like a mommy-daughter kind of discussion. It was a very helpful book.
I love that.
But I forgot what you asked me because the answer was in that book. So when to talk about your period.
Yeah.
You're right, around that time.
Around puberty. And also, I find that there's a general male aversion to even wanting to know about the female reproductive system and the words. Like every time I talk to a male comic and they're like, my wife's pregnant. I'm like, how's it going? Well, there's this thing, and they said that the part of the, I don't know, it's all fucked up. Like, they don't know the words for, like, any parts.
No, they don't.
I'm like, why is there just either an aversion or just an unwillingness to, it's not that freaking complicated, guys.
It's the patriarchy.
It is a fucking patriarchy.
It's the patriarchy.
It's so silly. Like,
it's fucking patriarchs.
Anyways. Also, I wanted to say to the single dad, I think a lot of men assume that when little girls get their periods that they use tampons right away.
It's
not always the case. Yeah.
No, not at all. My kids don't. My kids probably will not appreciate that I'm talking about this, but
menstrual cups, and they drink you have to drink the blood to be strong. That's another thing men don't realize is that you take the menstrual cup and then you ingest the blood and it makes us stronger and smarter, and that's how we're going to take over the patriarchy.
Oh, my kids give themselves facials with it.
Yeah.
It's good for the
You didn't know that?
Complexion, totally. No, they had a hard time with tampons, and
Of course, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying for them. Isla was much easier than Georgia about it. Georgia was like, no.
That's how I was.
And I'm like, well, then you can't swim. And that's totally fine. It was all focused around swimming.
Of course.
It wasn't focused around day-to-day usage. It's all about swimming. So there are videos online that you can watch with your daughter about putting a tampon in for the first time that are helpful. It makes it less about me saying to her, hey, this is how you insert something into your vagina. It was more about like, everybody does this. Most women wear tampons at some point. And again, normalizing it because every single woman has a period. So it's not this big taboo thing. I mean, the period party that Isla threw for herself,
I love that,
was so empowering because you go, it's going to happen at some point. So why not celebrate it? You have a choice. You can either make it like doomsday or you can make it, that's amazing. You've hit a milestone in your life, and that's really amazing.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Native, but the Jews, that's what the bat mitzvah and the bar mitzvah is all about, right? The bar mitzvah is when the boy starts masturbating, and he invites his entire family around the chuppah, and you guys all watch him masturbate to completion. And then the bat mitzvah is she shows the blood to everybody, and you guys dance the hora. Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly how we do it.
Sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right.
But culturally, there's a celebration of coming into womanhood and masculine. It's normal.
It's completely normal.
And I think a lot of men are, parents maybe afraid of sexualizing the discussion.
Absolutely.
Right. You're afraid of like, ooh, the tampon goes in the vagina. But if you take out the sex, when you're like, hey, this is not sexy. Like, this is just biology.
Yeah. It's again like saying you put a tampon in your elbow. It's
Yeah,
the same. It's the same. It's
sexual.
not. And to make it practical, I'm such a practical brain that I talk to my kids about their period in preparation for if it happened at school.
Oh my God.
My
I know.
whole
Nightmare.
thing was,
Ugh.
we're going to make a bag
Nightmare.
for you to put in your backpack.
Smart.
That will have feminine wipes, a maxi pad, and a new pair of panties. And we're going to learn how to, I talked to them about how to put a pad on their panties, what to say to the teacher, and how to handle it. And a Ziploc bag to put dirty underwear in.
I love this.
Which I told them to throw it out. But if they didn't feel comfortable putting it in the garbage.
Some bitch could find it.
Exactly.
And
so
like,
put it in the Ziploc bag, put it back in that bag, their cosmetic bag.
Smart.
And then it's all kind of private. It doesn't need to be a secret because secret implies something's wrong, I think.
I agree, yeah.
But privacy is very healthy. And to say, this is a private matter. And you can say to your teacher, I'm having a private matter and I need to go to the restroom.
That's a very good tactic and a very good sentence. I'm having a private matter and I need to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
And any sane adult will know what that's code for.
If a teacher doesn't get it and they have a fifth grader, they shouldn't be teaching fucking fifth grade. That was my theory. I was like, any teacher you have, if you say that, and you could even throw in a wink, wink.
Yeah.
They'll get it.
Yeah.
So go take care of yourself. They would never say no, and then no one needs to know.
Yeah.
So I talked to them about their period as a troubleshoot for that.
I love that.
And then both girls got their period at home. So
Fantastic.
I was lucky, but that was kind of my entree. Like, we're going to talk about something that could possibly happen, and let's like relieve all anxiety. And they already talked about in school what it means when you get your period, that now you're like a reproductive animal, that you're now fertile.
And that's all that is it's not this, like, it just means that now you can bear children.
Totally.
So, hey, different like stage of life. Big deal. Yeah.
It's a different hormonal place in your body.
And also too, so yeah, most people don't use tampons straight away. This is for anybody listening that's raising girls and doesn't know this. Usually maxi pads until you're sexually active, and maybe or until you're comfortable with putting a tampon.
It's a comfort
your
thing.
Vagina, would you say? A comfort thing.
I do. I know one of my daughter's friends is very heavy. She has a very heavy flow. So a pad was disastrous for her.
That's too bad.
So she has to wear a tampon with a pad for it to be manageable.
Brutal.
Like, she can't make it through a class and a half without the tampon. She's she's a bleeder.
She should go to the doctor. Could be
her mother's the same. Same exact
so it's
thing.
genetics.
So it's genetic. So
maybe get on the pill. That'll
something.
I don't know.
Her mother is better on the pill, but yeah. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's about your comfort level, really, not even about developmentally.
Remember, because back when we were growing up, it was the secret. It was a secret. It was shameful.
Totally.
And I remember, like, you knew which girls got their periods. It was like 7th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a girl who was having sex with her boyfriend.
Oh my God.
And he carried her tampons around for her.
Oh,
and I was like, what?
That's insane.
That is so crazy. You're such a slut. And we were like 13 or 14. So that was kind of early to be sexually active in my opinion. But I remember she was like, can I have one? And then he like took it out of his pocket for her.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what is
Are they married now?
I hope so. They better be.
They should be, right? Boys used to ask me for pens, and I used to pull a tampon out on purpose and go, here you go. Asshole. Don't ask me for a pen again. Stupid.
What do you... Yeah, I agree. Wait, hold on. What was I going to say to you? Tampons versus pad.
Here's another thing, heads up for teenage girls.
Yes, go ahead.
The bra thing is very sensitive.
I hate the bra
That
thing.
is such a sensitive topic for both of my children, who could not be more drastically different in personality. They both have had a very hard time dealing with bras. Like, Isla doesn't even want me to know she wears a bra when, by the way, I'm the one that buys the fucking bra. She doesn't want me to know what the bra looks like or have any knowledge of said bra. And I'm like, how are you? But she won't go to the store to buy a bra. It's a nightmare.
Wait a minute. Okay, then maybe you could do like an online company where they'll just deliver it.
Yes.
I would do that.
Yes, that would be great. I mean, you can do that with Target or anything like that, I'm sure.
Well, come on.
But
man.
for like Georgia's in a legit bra. Like she's like legit.
She's got titties.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
How does Georgia have boobies already? Oh my God.
It's crazy. So I took her to Victoria's Secret to have her measured.
Yes.
And that was the most embarrassing thing I think she's ever done in her life.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't just start buying you random bra sizes. We have to figure it out. I haven't really figured out how to normalize that. The period was easier for my kids than the bra.
Well, the bra's different because I remember having like trauma around wearing a bra as well.
Oh yeah?
Oh my, because I have huge cans. Every woman in my family has huge cans.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for these enormous tits to grow on my chest, and they freaking did. Like I was like a C cup by 7th grade, 8th grade. I had huge
That's
cans.
Big.
And I didn't want my dad to see because he was hypersexual. And I didn't want my mom to see because she was hypersexual. So there was no safe person for me to turn to when it came time for training bras. And of course, my mother would like, okay, let's go get you measured. And then she would take me to like Nordstrom. Mm-hmm. But then she would make the woman measure me in front on the floor. So like everybody could see.
Oh, that's not good.
No. And then she'd go, she needs to be measured for her mosquito bites. She has the mosquito bites. Like, you bitch. Like on top of. Like don't make fun of them for it's not my fault.
But she was demeaning you in public.
Exactly. And and that was the and then the shame of like, what if my bra strap was showing?
Yeah.
What if someone could see the bra back against my shirt? So what I would do, which is like some boys don't cry shit, is I would like wear a tank top under a t-shirt. So it would be like 90 degrees in LA. And I'm like, I got my training bra on, but I don't want anybody to see it.
Right.
So I'll put a tank top over it. And then I'm going to wear another shirt over that. And then there was a year where I wore a bathing suit instead of telling my mom I needed a training bra. And I would just wear like a bathing suit under my clothes because I was so mortified to tell them that I needed a bra. Wow. Yeah, trauma. And now I'm like, I don't give a rip, but I get it. It's horrible.
I think it's symbolic for them. Like no one can see the period.
Yes.
But you can see the boobs. I mean, the minute Isla got buds, she went into an extra large men's hoodie. Yeah. Daily and has never looked back.
Dress her like Billie Eilish. It's actually cool now to look dumpy and dykey. It's a good thing.
Right. Well, she's got that going on. Yeah. She got that hoodie, man. She's so cute. She's just got the cutest little figure. And I'm like, I wish I could see it. Because she's wearing the equivalent of a tent. Yeah. So no one will see. Same thing.
The boobs. The cuter the bod, the hotter the bod as a teenager, the dumpier. That's how I was. I had a smoking bod when I was 15, 16. Yeah. Nobody would know. Covered. Because the attention I would get when I would dress like a girl was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Guys on the street would whistle at me when I was 13. And I'm like, dude, I'm not a woman. Like, leave me alone. So I just covered it up.
Yeah. It's a lot to deal with, I think, becoming a woman. I think boys have a lot to deal with too, I think, but it's less out there.
Oh, my white privilege. The world bows down to everything I want. Writing it up. Oh. He's got that Jewish handicap.
Yeah, I'm not white.
You're
Christina.
not a fully white. Yeah. No, you're right. Boys have different. Boys aren't supposed to cry or have feelings, which is crazy.
Yeah, isn't
so
it?
we're supposed to raise them like serial killers.
No, that's I don't like that either.
It's bananas. But anyway. And what we're talking about, girls are hard to raise. What were we saying before that? I had a question for you. Bras, titties.
Single dad.
Yeah.
Girls hard to raise.
Terrible. Psychotic. So you're also on the verge of becoming an empty nester. Then. Yeah. You've got how many years left? 4 years?
For Georgia, we have 2 more years of high school. We just started sophomore year. So really 2.5.
That's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? I can't believe it.
I hate it.
And I was in 8th grade. So I guess we have a good 5 years left before they potentially go to college. We'll see if they actually go to college. I think Georgia will, but all bets are off for Isla. We don't know.
Hey, man.
But
the world is a different place now. It's not like
she doesn't need to go to college necessarily. Yeah. But this is something that Bert is having a harder time with than I am. He's really seeing that something is really ending. And I think the healthiest way to look at it is that something is transitioning, right? Because now they're going to be an adult. So you have to have a different relationship with them. You have to let go of a lot of your expectations and feelings about how they behave, your choices they make that for their own health and well-being. But I'm sad too about it. I love my kids and I love being a mom, and I've really enjoyed this whole ride. So it's going to be a sad transition, but I mean, relationship's not over. It's just
No.
totally different.
It's going to be great. You can finally talk to them as people. I mean, not fully. Dr. Laura would say it's child abuse to ever relinquish your identity as a mom. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that too. I don't want to know anything personal about my parents. You know what's interesting is that I think I'm finally turning a corner with my two boys as well, because Julian's 14 months and Ellis is 3.5, and they're playing together now, and they're hugging, and now they're like two little dudes, and I see the end, like I see the teens, and I'm sad already. I'm sad that I only have X amount of Christmases. I'm sad that I only have, Julian's only going to be in this phase. This is it, and then I'm not going to have another baby.
Yeah.
And I'm really digging them. I'm really enjoying this time.
Yeah.
It's getting fun. It's getting really fun. 4 is like around the corner and it looks fucking magical. And anyways,
It's going to be great.
it's going to be great. So it's going to be you and Bert.
I know.
What the heck? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I have to say, you know, his tour started this past weekend, and he always likes me to go the first week of the tour because I'm his whoopee. Mm-hmm. And I also set up the tour bus, like housekeeping, set it up, you know, with like, food and plates
such a
and
good
whatever.
lady.
So I'm on the tour bus, and I was like, well, this is just what I'll do. I'll just go on the tour bus with him if he's still touring when he's 6 years
He
from now.
will. He's like Ozzy Osbourne, where he's like, I'm retiring, and then he and Sharon. You're like Ozzy and Sharon.
Well, I say that all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I keep saying, I'm going to be more famous than you one day.
You are?
I'm the Sharon Osbourne of this relationship.
Hey, girl.
But
We're
no.
working on it.
I think I'll probably transition into that because I actually, you know, find this hard to believe. I actually genuinely enjoy my husband.
No,
most of the time
you do. You've
know?
married him for so long, and listen. As much as we joke about Bert Kreischer, he is a lovely human being.
He is.
And
He's a great guy.
He's a sweetheart, and he's fun to be around.
And we have a blast.
He's so lovable. Yeah,
We have
he's
so much
fantastic.
fun. And I'm so busy. I like to work. And so when we're on the bus, I sold merch every day because I'm like, what am I going to sit in the bus and read a magazine? No, I'm going to get out and help with this family business that we have.
And it is.
So
yes.
I think I'll just do that. I'll just transition into helping him. I've always wanted to write a book. Maybe I'll write a book.
Absolutely.
You know? I don't know.
You know, moms are really the center of the universe, of the home universe, and it's a huge power and it's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think mom really is the sun and everyone else. Is that how the solar system works? Right? The sun is
That's it.
Heliocentric. Yeah. And without us being happy and doing our thing, everything else falls to crap.
That's right. And if mom falls apart, everything, not even if we're unhappy, but if I think if a mom is not on top of her game, the kids are off balance. You know,
it is the truth, man. Even me being a little sicky right now, like I couldn't go down in the morning, and I hear the kids acting up. Where's mine? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It affects the balance of the whole ecosystem.
It does.
Fascinating.
It's a very empowering feeling as a woman if you embrace it.
100%.
You know?
And I think we should embrace it and stop and take the role and be freaking proud of it and take it for. Yeah, put power to it.
It is empowering. It's empowering to know. It makes me feel so proud when someone spends time with my kids and says, "You have the most normal, well-balanced, good kids." And I go, "Then I've done my job."
100%.
That's all I want. I don't need them to be beautiful or talented or the best softball player. I don't give a shit about that. I want them to be good people. And if they're good people, then I've done my job. And that's something that I could be really proud of, more so than, even my podcast or anything like that. I'm really proud of my marriage and my kids.
I'm the opposite. I think I'm going to raise my sons are killers. I'm teaching them to be self-centered, narcissistic.
They're making their own shank at home now. stab.
CEOs. I want them to be sociopaths. Yes, no.
No.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's really a good person, and also to, finding happiness is such a ubiquitous term. It's such a horseshit Oprah thing, but there's some validity to it. And it's actually the courage to find your happiness, the courage to go, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. It's not going to be for me. This is my life. I'm going to live this life the way I'm going to do it.
Well, the base
That's
of that
secret.
is having the courage to know and love yourself exactly as you are.
And to accept yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warts and all.
That's half that, man. But that shit didn't happen for me until
Oh, are you kidding?
36, 38. Yeah.
Me
now
neither.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the gift. If you can give the gift of your kids to your kids of being curious about who they are and wanting the answer to that so that you can bob and weave accordingly in your life. It is really hard, and they're never going to get it as a teenager. But I think if you plant the seed and say, you know, it's about what you need and what you want. Obviously, you still have to wait tables to get shit done and do shit jobs like that.
Dude.
But the core, the value system of who they are, if you can get them to start paying attention to that really early, I think they'll learn it quicker when they become an adult. Your 20s is a shit show for everybody. Nobody knows who they are, what they want to do. Everybody's broke. But if you can be on that quest to be your best self and to really understand who that is, I think it just makes the rest of life so much easier.
It does. And I think to unlearn a lot of the bullshit you're going to learn in school. I'm not teaching my kids to be totally antisocial.
Yeah.
But but I do think it's important to use your own common logic, your own common sense, and to be an independent thinker.
Absolutely.
And not take any shit from people and
Totally.
institutions. And stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man.
Build your own weapons. Okay. Let's talk about one last topic or two. This one is so fucking weird, Leanne. I've been getting so many emails from people who their mom fail is like, my baby was asleep in the room and we started to have sex and the sloshing noises woke up our child and ruined my orgasm. And you're like, wait a minute, there's so much wrong with this. Like, how do you feel about having intercourse with your children in the same room? Even if, okay, let's say in all fairness, they're sleeping. They're asleep.
Well, how old is this kid? Like 3 months old? Okay, they don't know what's going on. Are they 14?
No,
how old is this kid?
They're not 14. Let's say like infancy to like 5.
Oh, nah. I'm not having sex with my kid at fucking 5 years old. No.
They know what's up. By the time they're 3,
Yes.
they know what's
Oh,
up.
they know what's up at 2.
I know.
They might even know at 1. I wouldn't do that. 6 months would probably be my cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 months, yeah. 6 months, you can listen to anything on the radio. You can do any, naked.
Yeah.
By 1, their awareness is definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sex, like you said, it's got to be a separation of church and state a little bit. Like, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Where you sleep and where you fuck is the same for you, but not for your kid. It shouldn't be the same. I don't agree with that. So,
Well,
hardcore don't agree with that.
Hardcore, no. And a hard pass. And Dr. Drew is here. And he's like, Christina, I don't think you understand how strong the I can't talk today. The will is for men to have sex. He's like, what this shows is basically that men want to bone all the time. They don't care.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it's so true. Like, you've seen those videos of sea lions in the wild? Mm-hmm. The male sea lion will waddle over his own young and kill his own infant sea lions just to get to the woman to have sex. Like, that's how strong the desire is for men to
So you're saying Bert's a male sea lion?
100%.
So is this emailer or caller or whoever this person was?
Who is it? Yeah, they all are. It's all men being like, and then I couldn't come because my stupid baby started crying.
I think that person may have a slight problem with their priorities. And all due respect to men having to have sex, there is some maturity to going, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
It may not be right this minute, but it's going to happen. Like, the kid can't. Why is the kid sleeping in your room?
Well, that's problem number 1. Could be just circumstance, like they live in a small apartment.
Yeah.
And also, I would say there's workarounds. Have the baby nap in their own crib, sleep in their own crib, away from you, and then you guys can F at night. I mean, my husband and I, when my babies they sleep in their own cribs. That's when we have mommy daddy time. Also, the shower. You can F in the shower quick, right, Leanne? I don't know if you
shower,
guys are shower
on
F'ers.
the toilet, in the tub, on the counter in the kitchen, on the washing machine. I mean, there's a lot of places, on the couch. There's options, buddy.
Yeah, there's
Besides,
options.
my fucking baby woke up. Yeah. I was getting my rocks off.
I love you so much. What about, now let's talk about sex after baby. Think back 15 years. I know it's been a minute for you. I talked about this with Allison Rosen, who she's now about, 6 months postpartum, and she's not feeling sexy yet. She's really not ready to bust that first nut with her husband.
Right.
Do you remember what it was like, your sex life, let's say 1 year postpartum, that first year? What was it like for you?
Bert didn't want to wait the 6 weeks for me to heal
No.
to have sex. He was like week 4 going, can we speed up this process? How do we speed up this process? I need
kidding?
Yeah.
The cervix isn't even fully closed.
And I was like, snip, I had stitches. And he's like, come on. How about a hand job every day? And I'm like, dude, I am breastfeeding. I am like, I still have stitches. Fuck off. But he was very sexually charged after I had babies. And my boobs were the size of Oklahoma. I mean, they were huge.
I know, it's
and
disgusting.
He's a boob guy. So he was like, oh my God, how do I get my hands on those? But I have kind of a unique story. I was date raped in college.
Oh, no.
And I buried it in my brain and then remembered it years later. And I don't think because of that, I didn't really deal with the trauma. But when I pushed a baby out of my vagina, it triggered a lot of trauma.
This is very common. Alyssa Milano had a
Yes.
similar thing when she delivered her children. She had reawakened her sexual
that's
traumas
exactly
as well.
right.
Very common, ladies.
Yep.
Get that checked out.
So I was like, shop's closed.
Yeah.
It was a struggle for me to be vulnerable. It was a real struggle for me. So my personal experience is probably not typical because it took me a long time to just relax. Like
How
I couldn't
long would
relax.
you say?
And I kept going, I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand. Like, this is my husband. I love him. Sex is great. But my whole body was like, absolutely not.
Interesting.
Absolutely
Meaning,
not.
like your vagina would get closed off. Like you physically just had a repulsion towards him. Like, don't even touch me. I don't want this.
I wasn't repulsed. I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck.
Yes, sure.
About it, where I'd never had this issue ever until I pushed a baby out of my vagina. And I believe that act of going through my vagina just triggered all this trauma I had never dealt with. And I'd quote, dealt with it in therapy, but I dealt with it at such a delayed time. It was years after the actual trauma. Is I just buried it totally. And you hear about people who say things come back like that. It came back like that. I was watching a movie that had nothing to do with nothing. And I turned to my girlfriend and went, we have to leave right now. And I have to tell you this or I'm going to bury it again. So let's go home and we'll talk about this. And then I talked about it in therapy, but I don't think I ever really felt how it made me feel. I just shut it down and functioned on. So when that happened, it shut me down a little bit. So it took a lot of talking to Bert because I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't know why I was feeling very shut down and afraid. So I had to talk to him a lot about, like, this is how I'm feeling. And I know you're frustrated, but help me get there. Help me feel comfortable. And he did. He was really great. And he was really impatient at the same time.
That seems to be the common denominator with husbands. And they just push.
They're just, they want what they want when they want it.
I got to
Patriarchy.
Yeah. I'm entitled. I need to come.
Yeah. Just a hand job then, LeeAnn, hand job. I'm like, it's still fucking sex on some level.
Well, but then again, I do advocate the loving assist, as Dan Savage would
I do
say.
too, yeah.
Like just throw him a bone.
No,
just the handy.
Hey.
No, I wouldn't even say the mouth because you're so like the mouth is like saint. If you can give a blowjob, you're a freaking saint.
Yeah. I did a podcast about this.
Yeah.
It's the sex podcast.
Wife of the party, sex episode.
The sex episode. I read a book before I got married that was written by a gay man about how to give oral sex.
Oh.
And it was really helpful because let me tell you, ladies, if you're good at it, it happens really fast.
Really?
And they love it. So then I go, well, if they love it, then I should try to do it from time to time.
From time to time.
From time to time.
What do you consider time to time? Let's be honest.
Once a quarter.
Wow. Wow, LeeAnn doling out the quarterly.
Once a quarter.
Now, is this before or after?
Very pragmatic.
Is this before or after you see the statement, the income statement, the banks? You're like,
depends.
Yeah. How many zeros for Bert to get a hand on his beanbag at the same time.
No, it's not related to money.
Yeah.
Yeah, every 3 months or so.
Every 3 months a BJ. Yeah. I feel like that's a good standard.
Well, I mean, if it were up to me, I would say never. I don't ever want to do
terrible.
that. I don't fucking hate it.
I fucking hate it.
But I read that book because I thought, well, if it's something, I want him to feel good. I want him to have what he wants.
Of course.
So it's not about, sex isn't all about what you get.
Right.
It's about what you give also. I mean, you can't just be one-sided. It's about what you give.
Interesting.
And how you make the other person feel about themselves and about your relationship. What's wrong?
I go opposite.
You do?
You're a giver.
Yeah.
Here's what I like to do. I like to go with what would excite me.
Yeah.
And because that's how Tom, like whatever excites me gets Tom excited too.
Yeah.
Let me just try to think how to phrase this. Like,
but a blowjob doesn't
saying?
excite you and you know that he wants one.
Well, I do. Here's the deal. Like I do those. I don't know, quarterly. Like you cap it on your calendar.
You don't track it? I have a blowjob tracker. Ding! Blowjob time! Today's the day. Bert would love that so much. Don't think he wouldn't be checking that tracker like weekly. Is this a week?
100%.
It's another genius idea for the people.
It is. Yeah, there you go. The blowjob app for the married ladies. That once a quarter, you look over his financial statements, and depending how good it is, you give him a blowjob. No.
Or maybe you do once a week for a month, and then you're done for the year.
How much?
Once a week for a month. That's 4 quarters.
That's true. And then you get up. No. See, you think that works. That's husband math is way different for like TikTok bitch. Because the poison refuels.
It does.
You have to release their poison
Yeah.
and then it tanks up again. You have to release the valve. But I found that, yeah, like that. So your technique is to just, you take one for the team and you go and you give them a BJ once a quarter.
And you do a fucking fabulous
and you
job.
do it. Okay, I'd like to read this book. Can you find the title? It's in Wife
on
of the Party.
It's on wifeotp.com. There's a link to that book.
WOTP.com.
No, wife.
No. Okay.
OTP.
Wife OTP. Here she is. Wife.
Wifeotp.com.
OTP.com.
If you want to find it now, you can look in the food for thought, I think it is. And keep going down.
Oh, this is great. So she's got
keep going down.
a book club with all these books.
Down.
Scroll down.
Scroll down.
God damn it.
Scroll down. You are slow,
Slow
mister.
as a mofo.
Right there. Sex tips. I can't read it because I have my glasses on.
Sex tips for straight women, I'm assuming. It says click on it. God damn it, Adavria. Sex tips for straight women from a gay man. That's fantastic. I would love to read this.
Because who knows better how to pleasure a man than a gay man?
100%. So go to wifeotp.com and order it through there so she gets a little Amazon kickback, you guys. If you're interested in giving your husband blowjobs, which I kind of am, here's what I like to do. Like I said, I'll find what excites me so that I'm into it when he and I actually do have a moment to do it. Mm-hmm. And that way it's exciting for him. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. They get very turned on when you're very turned on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
I like that.
Yeah. No, but that's okay. But that's really, you're giving to him.
I'm giving to him.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sexual right now. I mean, I'm sick right now, but maybe, no, I get sexual when I'm not. Okay, I can't talk about this anymore. Okay, let's go on. Sex after baby, having sex with the babies in the room. Do you believe in joining mom groups? Do you belong to any?
I don't.
Yeah. What's your feeling on that?
I don't believe and I don't belong. I remember taking my kids when they were little, and I just remember women whining.
Yeah.
And I just don't do well with whining. And maybe that was just my group. But I think, I don't do that. But I think some women need support.
I know. I would love to join one.
Like
an online one, because that way you don't actually have to do anything but read.
Or leave your house.
Yeah, I don't leave my house, especially with small kids. Okay. Do you have any mom drama stories?
Mom drama?
Yeah, like any bitches at your school that you're you have beef with? I don't know. I always imagine that there's mom. I have
mom
zero.
Beef?
Let me try to think of my mom drama.
I have to say, there are some moms.
Take me outside. How about that?
How about that, bitch?
There's some moms
Yeah.
that are drama, right? That my kids are friends with.
Oh, shit.
So my kids are friends with their kids. So it is very hard to manage yourself with that other adult, right? Because if the other adult is wackadoo, you don't want to offend them, because then that mom will separate her daughter from mine.
Oh, no.
And they have a good relationship. And the daughter's not wackadoo yet. So then you go, how do I manage myself within the context of this woman's delusional world? That's really difficult. That's been the hardest thing. I don't really deal with drama. If someone comes with drama, I'm like, bye. But there's this one mom that I definitely have to temper everything that I would usually do with other people with her to maintain my daughter's relationship with her daughter.
What a nightmare.
It's really a lot of energy. It's a lot of work. And I keep her very at arm's length for me. But, and there's more than one mom that's like this.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
women are crazy.
Yeah.
Women are crazy.
I know.
Unless they've done some work on themselves, they're usually crazy.
Bitches be cray. I know. It's so hard. It is so freaking hard. It's just like people, I mean, I guess I assumed when people have children, like we all join this club where we're all awesome. Like it transforms you. And like, it's just high school. But now we all have kids.
That's right.
And you have to find like the one person in the class that you think is normal. Like
That's
that
right.
parent.
That's right.
For me, it's the Persians. There's like this Persian couple. It's pretty dope.
That's awesome.
And then there's this dad. We call him the porn star dad because he wears sweatpants every day to get his kid. He's got the hugest dong.
Oh my God.
And everybody's like, porn star dads. And anyway, I should talk about it because probably people are listening that go to my kids' school. Anyways, that's it. Wife of the party, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, is there
always.
anything else you wanted to mention or plug or...
That's all I got going on.
Well, let me tell you, it's not all because you and I are coming up with a secret thing that's going to release pretty soon, let's say in October. I'm not going to say too much, but
maybe.
I'm so excited. I think we're going to come together and do a very powerful thing. And check out LeeAnn's podcast, support her. And thank you so much for downloading. Thank you for subscribing. Email me at wheremymomsat@gmail.com. Leave me a voicemail, 213-375-5184. And send me videos. I love videos. I will play them on the next episode when I do a solo cast. And that's it, bros. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Leanne. I love you.
I love you too.
You're the best.
You're the best.
All right. Bye, moms.
Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where my mom's